Hey folks, Daily Landsblog for February. No, I was going to say February the 30th, but we shouldn't push February.
Don't do the rhyme.
Okay.
No.
March the 1st, 2020. And here I am in an unusual position, standing in front of the sink, and I'm doing that for a reason, because we're all really conscious these days of taking the appropriate precautions, right? The word is always, you should wash your hands quite frequently. But now, with coronavirus going around, we're hearing a lot more about it. But you know what? As important as that is, and make no mistake, who's going to say it's not important? Here's what I'm thinking. That the risk that you and your family have of somebody in your life taking their own life is way greater than coronavirus. Massively greater than coronavirus. If you have somebody in your life who is under 34 years of age, the second leading cause of death is suicide. How can we prepare ourselves for that? How can we avoid that? What can we do? What would be the equivalent of washing our hands when it comes to preventing suicide? And there's no easy way, and I'm not going to suggest that there is, but I would say the equivalent of washing your hands, because you can't prevent all coronavirus, you can't prevent all flus or colds. I would say the equivalent would be simply talking. Do you know how few people actually talk about suicide, actually use the word suicide? I'm driven to, at the very least, create conversation, because as I have seen thousands of times now, I've asked the question, how many of you in the audience have spoken about sex with your teenager, or drinking and driving, or the importance of good marks, or who you're hanging out with, or drugs in general, all of that? And everyone puts up their hand every single time. And then when the question becomes, how many of you have spoken about suicide with your young person in your life? Very few put up their hands. Yet, the biggest concern that you have to have, the biggest area that you can deal with and hope to prevent it, is suicide. But we don't talk about it, and we need to change that. We need to change the dialogue. We need to add it to the dialogue. We need to make it part of the discussion. So should it happen to be an issue, should it happen to be in somebody's head, at least if it's being part of the discussion, it won't be as imposing, as intimidating to come forward and say, we've talked about suicide in this house, and I know you said to come to you because it's a realistic concern, and well, I have these thoughts. You may think that's unusual, but it's not. Close to 1 million Canadians every year will have suicidal thoughts. Most won't act on it, but they need to be able to mention it. SickNotWeak.com, 364 or 365, depending on your perspective on the leap year. And you know what? These marks, I forgot to rub them off, Case.
And you were just washing your hands.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll do that right now. You're going to have to tune in tomorrow to see how this goes. The exciting conclusion of ML starts the month with no marks on his arm.